Welcome to Voices of BioWellnessX with Daniel and Sophie. You know, it's a true wild west out there in the wellness world, isn't it? One minute you're just casually scrolling online, maybe looking for some relief or support. The next, bam, you're just swallowed by this avalanche of CBD products, gummies, oils, tinctures, vapes, and they're all promising the moon, right? Every brand is vying for your attention. If you've ever felt that little bit of panic staring at a shelf or a screen, just thinking, okay, let's unpack this. Which CBD gummies actually work? Then you, my friend, are absolutely in the right place today. It's a question we hear all the time. It echoes across countless conversations. And honestly, the sheer volume of products and, let's face it, often conflicting claims can feel incredibly overwhelming. It turns what should be a simple wellness choice into this complex research project.
Exactly. And that feeling, that sense of being overwhelmed, that's precisely the challenge we're tackling head on today. Think of this deep dive as our mission, really, to cut through all that noise. We want to serve as your compass, maybe your map, in this wellness jungle. We're aiming to provide you with a clear, evidence-based roadmap. We've meticulously pulled together a stack of insightful sources, everything from detailed product analyses and scientific FAQs to crucial regulatory guides. It's all designed to help you figure out what truly matters when it comes to understanding and picking CBD gummies. Our goal isn't just to throw information at you, it's to empower you, to equip you with the knowledge to make genuinely informed choices for your own unique wellness journey. So you're not just guessing, or falling for the latest flashy trend.
I couldn't agree more. And think of it like this. Finding truly effective CBD isn't about luck. It's not just trying whatever catches your eye. It's really about a discerning approach, knowing precisely what to look for. It's a bit like understanding the nuanced ingredients in your organic produce, maybe, or knowing the complex components in any serious supplement you might consider taking. So this deep dive is tailored specifically for you. Doesn't matter if you're taking your very first tentative steps into the world of hemp-derived products, or maybe you're an experienced user looking to refine your approach, really understand the science behind your choices. We're here to give you those actionable tools to confidently spot quality, ensure safety, and hopefully discover genuine effectiveness.
And here's the key insight we'll unpack today, something that I think can fundamentally shift your perspective. The effectiveness of CBD gummies. It isn't some mystical, elusive secret. It's not magic. It actually comes down to a few critical, often overlooked factors. Pretty straightforward, really. Once you grasp these core principles, things like the quality of the hemp, the transparency of the company behind it, you'll be much, much better equipped to find products that genuinely deliver on their promise rather than just, empty hopes. It's about transforming you into an educated, empowered consumer in what is, let's be honest, a rapidly evolving and often confusing market.
Okay, so if we're truly going to master this wellness jungle, let's start by mapping out the terrain. We'll begin with a foundational understanding of what CBD gummies even are. Basic stuff, but important. And then, crucially, we're going to dive into why focusing only on CBD is bringing a compass to a wilderness that really demands a full GPS system. Because here's where it gets really interesting. The world of cannabinoids is far more diverse and, frankly, fascinating than just that one compound.
Indeed. And to navigate this landscape effectively, it's absolutely crucial to first clarify a fundamental distinction. All of the products we'll be discussing today, they're hemp-derived. Now, that isn't just a technicality. It's a vital legal and practical differentiation. It's firmly rooted in the 2018 Farm Bill. You've probably heard of it. This landmark legislation federally legalized hemp, defining it as cannabis sativa plants containing no more than 0.3% delta-9 THC by dry weight. That's the magic number. This is a stark contrast to cannabis-derived products, often called marijuana, which are still federally illegal. They face entirely separate, much more stringent regulations and obviously limited availability, depending on where you live. Understanding this hemp-derived distinction is absolutely paramount for grasping the legality, the accessibility, and the product composition. It's really your first step in ensuring you're on the right side of the law. Now, when we talk about CBD products, it's not a single uniform category, not at all. It's really a spectrum, offering different experiences depending on their composition. At one end, we have full-spectrum CBD. These products are designed to deliver CBD alongside a whole array of other naturally occurring beneficial compounds found right in the cannabis sativa plant. We're talking about a rich profile, things like terpenes, flavonoids, and yes, a trace amount of THC. But always strictly under that 0.3% federal limit. That's key. The driving philosophy here is what's known as the entourage effect. This theory suggests that all these compounds work synergistically, kind of like a team. They enhance each other's therapeutic benefits, providing a more comprehensive, potentially more potent experience than just pure CBD alone. For many people, the key insight here is that the whole plant is often greater than the sum of its isolated parts. That really shifts how you might approach product selection, right? You see this rich integrated approach in products like Feel Good Gummies Full Spectrum, 25 milligrams CBD plus L-theanine, or Mellow Drops Full Spectrum, 25 milligrams CBD. You're getting that deeper, richer plant profile for maybe a more holistic effect. Okay, moving along that spectrum, we encounter broad spectrum CBD. This type is quite similar to full spectrum. It tries to retain many of those beneficial plant compounds, the terpenes, other minor cannabinoids. But there's one crucial difference. The THC has been specifically removed, often down to undetectable levels. This makes it a really excellent option for individuals who want to explore the potential benefits of that entourage effect, but without any trace of THC. Maybe due to workplace drug testing concerns or just personal preference, that's perfectly valid. And finally, at the other end is CBD isolate. Just like the name suggests, this is pure CBD, meticulously isolated from all other plant compounds. That means no terpenes, no other cannabinoids, and absolutely zero THC. This form is often preferred by those who want to strictly avoid any trace of THC whatsoever, or maybe folks who have specific sensitivities to other plant compounds. Products like Wellness CBD Gummies and on THC 25 milligram CBD or Pure CBD Oil Tincture are classic examples. They deliver unadulterated CBD in its purest form. So each of these spectrums' full, broad isolate offers a distinct pathway to engage with CBD, tailored to different needs and preferences.
That's a fantastic, really clear breakdown of the different spectrums of CBD. Helps demystify those labels you see everywhere. But like you mentioned earlier, CBD is just one piece of a much larger, constantly expanding puzzle. What I often hear, and feel myself sometimes, is that with so many new cannabinoids popping up, Delta-8, HHC, THCA, and more, it feels like the market is getting incredibly complex, almost dizzying, actually. Are we at a point where this complexity risks overwhelming consumers, or is it genuinely leading to better, more targeted solutions? What's your take on this expanding family of cannabinoids, and how do listeners, make sense of it all?
That's a really perceptive question. It absolutely speaks to the rapid innovation happening in this space. It's moving fast. And it's true, the cannabis plant is true treasure trove of compounds. We're still learning so much. And the market is now, well, enthusiastically exploring that richness, moving well beyond just CBD. We're seeing an exciting array of other cannabinoids, particularly the delta variants of THC. Each has unique properties, different potencies. Take Delta-8 THC, for instance. It's just skyrocketed in popularity. And that's largely because it seems to offer more subtle psychoactive effects compared to traditional Delta-9 THC. People often describe it as a clearer, less intense experience. More functional, maybe. It's incredibly versatile and widely available in so many forms and dosages, catering to a broad spectrum of user preferences. Our sources reveal a huge product range, from Delta-8 gummies 10, 25, 50 milligrams, all the way up to Delta-8 gummies 100 milligrams for those seeking higher potency. You can also find it in Delta-8 soft gels 30 milligrams, Delta-8 THC tincture, even consumption methods like Delta-8 smokes and Delta-8 disposable vape pen 1,000 milligrams. It just illustrates how diverse the delivery methods have become for this one cannabinoid. This wide array allows for significant personalization, sure, but it also means you really need to understand these nuances. Then there's Delta-9 THC. That's the cannabinoid traditionally associated with the intoxicating high from cannabis, the one most people think of. However, within the hemp-derived market, its presence is strictly regulated. Remember that 0.3% dry weight limit under the 2018 Farm Bill. So when you see Delta-9 gummies, 10 milligrams, 25 milligram THC, these are still federally compliant hemp products. They're meticulously formulated to stay within that legal threshold. It's all about the math and the dry weight. The key here is the source. It has to be hemp, and the percentage by dry weight. That makes a huge difference in how they're regulated and experienced. We also see Delta-10 THC emerging, another fascinating variant, offering a different set of effects. It's often described as more uplifting or maybe cerebral compared to Delta-8. Products like Delta-10 gummies 55 milligram and Delta-10 tincture highlight its growing presence, adding another layer of choice for consumers exploring specific outcomes. And for those seeking an even more finely tuned experience, there are blended Delta products. Things like Tri-Delta gummies 50 milligram THC, or even more complex blends like Delta 9X gummies, THCP plus CBG, 53 milligrams, and Delta 9Z gummies, Sleep, WTHCP plus CBN, 53 milligrams. Whoa, these sophisticated blends combine multiple Delta variants, often with other minor cannabinoids, to create distinct, targeted effects. It's moving beyond just a single compound to a more integrated approach to wellness, which is pretty exciting.
It's truly incredible how many different forms of THC are now available and, crucially, legally compliant through hemp. It almost feels like the regulatory landscape is constantly shifting under our feet. It's hard to keep up. For a listener just trying to make sense of it, how do you explain the implications of this constant evolution? And beyond these various delta forms, I've noticed a growing interest in other, often called minor, cannabinoids and even additional botanicals. What exactly are these, and what specific targeted effects are they engineered to offer?
That's a really important observation about the evolving landscape, yeah. And it underscores why staying informed is just so vital. These newer cannabinoids are just market novelties. They represent a deeper understanding of the plant's incredible potential. Beyond the THC variants, the plant offers so much more. It's packed. Take CBN or cannabinol, for example. It's becoming strongly associated with sleep and profound relaxation. You can see its specific targeting in products like nighttime gummies, CBN, CBD melatonin, tea-free, or Dream Drop Sleep 45 milligrams CBD CBN. This indicates its potent synergistic role in promoting restful sleep. It's also available as a standalone CBN oil tincture for those who want to isolate its effects more directly. Many people find it helps them drift off without that groggy feeling the next morning, which is a common complaint with some traditional sleep aids. That's a big plus. Then we have CBG, or cannabigerol. It's often affectionately referred to as the mother cannabinoid. Why? Because other cannabinoids, including CBD and THC, are actually synthesized from it within the plant. Pretty cool, huh? It's being actively explored for a wide array of benefits, particularly for focus, inflammation support, and general wellness. Our sources list: Focus Gummies, full spectrum, 75 milligrams CBD CBG, and also HHC plus CBG gummies, 75 milligrams. This suggests its versatility, either for cognitive support during the day or maybe combined effects with other compounds. A CBG oil tincture also offers a direct pathway to its specific benefits. Its potential for promoting mental clarity without stimulation makes it quite unique, actually. And let's not overlook HHC, or hexahydrocannabinol. That's another relatively newer cannabinoid entering the market. It often seems to provide a milder, more clear-headed experience compared to delta-9 THC for many users. Products like HHC gummies 50 milligram and HHC plus CBG gummies 75 milligrams are presenting it as yet another option for exploration for those seeking distinct effects. There's also THCA, or tetrahydrocannabinolic acid. This one is particularly interesting and often misunderstood. THCA is the non-intoxicating precursor to delta-9 THC. Say that 5 times fast. Basically, in its raw form directly from the plant, it doesn't cause a high. However, when you heat it through a process called decarboxylation, which happens when you smoke, vape, or cook it, it chemically transforms into the intoxicating delta-9 THC. That's why you find it in products like THK flower, THK vapes, THK pre-rolls, and even THCA diamonds. These are products specifically designed to be heated to activate the THC, unlocking its psychoactive properties. It's all about the heat. Finally, a really sophisticated approach we often see now is the pairing of these cannabinoids with well-known botanicals like L-theanine and melatonin. These aren't new, they've been researched for decades. L-theanine, which you find in green tea, is celebrated for its calming and focus-enhancing properties. It can reduce anxiety without making you sleepy. Melatonin is, of course, a well-established natural sleep aid that helps regulate the body's internal clock, the sleep-wake cycle. They're frequently added to enhance the desired effects of the cannabinoids, creating a more targeted and potentially potent solution. This is perfectly exemplified in Feel Good Gummies, full spectrum, 25 milligrams CBD plus L-theanine for, say, mood support and mental clarity during the day. And then you have nighttime gummies, CBN, CBD melatonin, tea-free, for a comprehensive, gentle sleep solution. This intelligent blending of compounds is a really powerful strategy for creating truly effective, tailored wellness products. It's smart formulation.
Wow, that's certainly a comprehensive look at how diverse the cannabinoid family tree has become. I mean, it's really branching out. You've really laid out the complexity and the potential benefits of this expanding ecosystem. But with so many options, what's the biggest misconception or maybe trap you see consumers falling into when trying to navigate this huge array? And now that we understand what these different cannabinoids are and their nuanced effects, the next crucial step is understanding how to ensure they actually deliver on their promises. So, what does this all mean for you when you're standing there choosing a product? How do you separate the effective from the ineffective and move beyond just the marketing hype?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And I think the biggest trap is consumers not realizing that the source and the verification of the product matter way more than the flashy label or the cool name. And that brings us directly to the core pillars of effectiveness, what really counts. First and foremost, let's revisit hemp quality and potency. We touched on it, but it's worth hammering home. This isn't just a suggestion. It is the absolute non-negotiable foundation, period. The journey of an effective gummy doesn't start in a fancy lab. It begins in the soil, with the quality of the hemp plant itself. Think about it like a master chef. They know the finest dishes require the finest ingredients, right? Well, a superior CBD product absolutely depends on superior hemp. It just does. The source material directly dictates the purity, the richness, the full beneficial profile of the extract. That means how many valuable cannabinoids, terpenes, and flavonoids are actually present and at what concentrations. If the starting material is low quality or contaminated, even the best extraction methods can't magically fix the final product. Garbage in, garbage out, basically. And intimately tied to this is the extraction method that's used. This also significantly influences the final product's quality and the integrity of its cannabinoid profile. Are those delicate compounds preserved? For example, CO2 extraction is often praised because it can preserve beneficial compounds without using harsh chemical solvents. That yields a cleaner, purer extract. And then there's potency levels. We mentioned this, but it's vital not just for safety, but for actually achieving the effects you want. It's simply not enough to know it's CBD or delta-8. You absolutely need to know how many milligrams of that specific cannabinoid is in each and every serving, each gummy, each dropperful. This precision allows you to select a dosage that caters precisely to your individual needs and tolerance. And it will discuss more that can vary dramatically from person to person. For example, knowing if a delta-8 gummy is 10 milligrams, 25 milligrams, 50 milligrams, or even that potent 100 milligrams allows for a tailored approach. It helps prevent underdosing, where you don't feel anything, or more critically, overdosing, which can be unpleasant.
So it's not just about the specific cannabinoid like delta-8 or CBN, but how that cannabinoid is grown, how it's extracted, and then precisely how much of it you're actually getting in each dose. That clarity makes perfect sense, especially given the range of effects we've discussed. Okay, beyond the core hemp extract itself, what about the other things that make up the gummy? You know, the ingredients, the manufacturing process, the overall safety measures. How do we ensure those are up to par?
Oh, those other ingredients and safety considerations are just as critical. They form a holistic picture of quality. You can't ignore them. First, cleanliness matters immensely. It just does. You absolutely want products that are non-GMO and pesticide-free. Think about it. If you're incorporating something into your wellness routine regularly, maybe daily, you certainly don't want to be inadvertently ingesting harmful chemicals or genetically modified organisms. Makes sense, right? Beyond these fundamental requirements, additional certifications like gluten-free or vegan aren't just marketing points. They often indicate a higher level of care and consideration in the product formulation. It suggests a brand that pays meticulous attention to every detail and caters to a broader range of dietary needs and sensitivities. And that often speaks volumes about their overall commitment to quality across the board. But perhaps the most paramount aspect for consumer safety, trust, ultimately proof of effectiveness, is the Certificate of Analysis, the COA. This is non-negotiable. I can't stress that enough. A COA is an official document generated by a third-party laboratory. That's key, independent from the manufacturer. It scientifically confirms exactly what's in the gummy. It meticulously details its full cannabinoid profile, verifying the specific compounds like CBD, delta-8, CBN, and critically, their precise potency. Doesn't match the label. Even more importantly, it confirms what's not in it. It rigorously screens for potential harmful contaminants, things like heavy metals, pesticides, residual solvents left over from extraction, microbial impurities like mold or bacteria, nasty stuff you don't want. Think of the COA as your independent scientific proof. It's your consumer shield. It verifies that what's on the label is precisely what's in the product and that it's free from contaminants. If a company doesn't readily provide an up-to-date COA for every single batch, that is an immediate and absolute red flag. Just walk away. Find another brand. Now, regarding general safety and potential medical interactions, this is super important. While CBD is widely considered safe for most people and generally well tolerated, this is a critical point that cannot be stressed enough. It can interact with certain medications. Our sources specifically highlight potential interactions with blood thinners like warfarin and certain antidepressants like SSRIs. And here's a critical, often overlooked insight that could literally be a game changer for your health. CBD can interfere with the CYP450 enzyme system in your liver. Now, this isn't just a minor interaction. The CYP450 system is responsible for metabolizing a huge array of common drugs, things like cholesterol medications, antihistamines, immunosuppressants, even some antiepileptics. So many common meds. If CBD inhibits these enzymes, it can lead to higher than intended levels of other medications in your system. This could have potentially serious, even dangerous consequences. This single insight underscores the absolute necessity of talking to your doctor before incorporating CBD into your routine. especially if you're on any prescription medication. No exceptions. You should approach CBD with the same consideration and caution as you would any other dietary supplement. Treat it seriously.
That transparency, especially with the COA, wow, and that crucial understanding of the CYP450 enzyme system, that's vital information. It truly puts the power and maybe the responsibility back in the consumer's hands, doesn't it? But beyond the label and the lab results, how do we assess the company itself? In a market that's just flooded with newcomers, what about the brand's trustworthiness and overall transparency? How do we navigate that?
That's the ultimate guidepost, really. The true north in this burgeoning market. And frankly, it's a huge differentiator between brands. First, you need to be deeply wary of hype and exaggerated claims. Really skeptical. If a company's making wild promises like cures anxiety overnight, or, even more dangerously, claiming to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, that's a major flashing red light. Huge warning sign. The Federal Trade Commission, FTC, actively monitors these kinds of company claims and doesn't hesitate to crack down on misleading advertising. They're watching. Trustworthy, reputable brands understand these boundaries and operate ethically within them. What you're truly looking for is openness as a virtue, real transparency. Reputable brands will always post their COAs directly on their website. Often, you can scan a QR code right on the product packaging to see it instantly. They make it easy. They'll clearly state their sourcing practices, explaining where their hemp is grown, maybe under what conditions. They'll transparently explain their manufacturing processes. Are they using good manufacturing practices, GMP? And they will, without fail, include proper Food and Drug Administration, FDA, disclaimers. Those disclaimers like not evaluated by the FDA or not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease are crucial. Far from being signs of weakness or ineffectiveness, they are in fact strong indicators of compliance and transparency. It demonstrates that the company understands and respects the current regulatory landscape and isn't making illegal medical claims. It's actually a sign of integrity. And we can't overstate the importance of understanding the legal framework reinforcement either. It matters. The Agriculture Improvement Act of 2018, or the Farm Bill, is the cornerstone here. We mentioned it before. It explicitly removed hemp and its cannabinoids from the Federal Controlled Substances Act, as long as they contain no more than that 0.3% delta-9 THC by dry weight. That's the federal standard. This means, federally speaking, CBD derived from hemp is not a controlled substance. However, and this is a critical caveat, remember that state laws vary significantly, hugely sometimes. Some states have imposed additional restrictions or even outright bans on specific hemp-derived cannabinoids, especially the newer ones like delta-8 or delta-10. Some states are cracking down. It's always smart, indeed essential, to check your local regulations before purchasing or consuming these products. Ignorance of state law is not a defense, and you want to be fully informed and compliant.
That's an extremely helpful distinction, especially understanding the federal versus state nuances and how the FDA operates in this space. It's complicated. So the bottom line really is transparency protects the consumer. It empowers us. It's about arming ourselves with knowledge, using those COAs as our personal verification tool. And speaking of making those informed choices and truly embodying this level of transparency we're discussing, it brings to mind companies that are really setting the gold standard. We've seen firsthand how BioWellnessX.com, for instance, provides exceptional detail, from sourcing info to easily accessible third-party lab results. They make your job as a consumer so much easier, which is fantastic.
Absolutely. Having a reliable resource like BioWellnessX.com, where you can easily access COAs, clear product information, detailed ingredient lists, it's invaluable for the informed consumer. It truly takes the guesswork out of the equation, and it helps build that essential trust we've been talking about, giving you confidence in your choices.
Okay, so now, with all this incredible knowledge about what cannabinoids are and how to identify quality and trustworthy brands, let's pivot to a very practical question. How do these principles play out in actual products you might consider? Let's look at how different gummy formulations can cater to very specific needs. Let's move into the realm of tailored solutions for your best gummy experience.
Yeah, this is where understanding the different compounds really pays off, because you can truly match products to your specific needs. It's not just random. For instance, if sleep and relaxation are your primary goals, you might look for something like nighttime gummies with CBN, CBD, and melatonin THC free. Here, you have a powerful synergy working together. CBN, which we discussed, is known for its potentially sedative properties combined with CBD for overall calm and relaxation, and melatonin, that well-established sleep aid, helping regulate your natural sleep cycle. This blend is specifically designed for a gentle, natural transition to sleep, and crucially, often without the morning grogginess sometimes associated with heavier sleep medications. That's a big win for many. The THC-free aspect is also a significant bonus for those who want to wind down without any intoxicating effects or concerns about THC showing up on a test. Imagine having a particularly demanding day. You just need to genuinely unplug and quiet your mind before bed. This formulation is built precisely for that scenario. Alternatively, let's say you're looking for daily calm and mood support. A product like Feel Good Gummies, full spectrum CBD plus L-theanine, could be your ideal companion during the day. The full spectrum aspect means you're harnessing the potential benefits of that entourage effect we talked about. While the added L-theanine is a highly regarded anxiolytic, it helps with anxiety. It's celebrated for its ability to reduce anxiety and take the edge off daily stressors, promoting a state of calm focus without causing sedation. That's key for daytime use. This combination is fantastic for navigating stressful workdays, managing social anxieties, or simply maintaining a greater sense of ease and well-being throughout your waking hours. It's about finding that mental sweet spot where you're alert but not overwhelmed. And if your priority is general wellness with absolutely zero THC, the Wellness CBD gummies, all benefits, minimal THC, organic made, are a perfect example of that product type. Now, our source notes are currently out of stock, but they represent a whole category designed to deliver the pure, isolated benefits of CBD in a completely THC-free profile. Plus, the mention of pineapple mango flavor isn't just trivial, it addresses a common concern. Some users find the natural hempy or earthy taste of some CBD products pretty off-putting, let's be real. This emphasizes the importance of formulation not just for efficacy, but also for a pleasant user experience. It ensures compliance and enjoyment go hand in hand. You're more likely to stick with it if it tastes good. This is for the person who wants daily, consistent CBD support without any psychoactive effects or strong flavors interfering.
That's a great illustration of how gummies can offer such a tailored and targeted approach, addressing very specific needs like sleep, daytime calm, or general wellness without THC. But as you reminded us earlier, the world of hemp-derived products extends far beyond just edibles, beyond gummies. What other diverse delivery methods should our listeners be aware of? And critically, how do they compare? In terms of how they're used, their onset time, or the duration of their effects, because that can make a huge difference in choosing the right tool for the job, right?
You're absolutely right. The versatility of these products is truly remarkable. They offer different advantages for different lifestyles and desired outcomes. Beyond gummies, tinctures or oils remain a very popular and classic delivery method. You see them everywhere. We see examples like Delta-8 THC tincture with PCR hemp oil, pure CBD oil tincture, CBN oil tincture, and CBG oil tincture. Lots of options. These are typically administered sublingually. Fancy word just means you place drops directly under your tongue. This allows for significantly faster absorption into the bloodstream compared to edibles. Why? Because it bypasses the digestive system. You can often feel effects within maybe 15-30 minutes, much quicker. And they also offer the benefit of customizable dosing. You can simply adjust the number of drops, providing very precise control over your intake. This is ideal for someone who needs quick, adjustable relief or wants to fine-tune their dose very carefully. Then there are capsules and soft gels. Think of things like Delta-8 soft gels 30 milligram or nighttime capsules with melatonin and CBD 25 milligrams. These provide a discrete, pre-measured dose. Super convenient, especially for on-the-go use. They ensure consistent intake without any measuring or fuss, just pop one like a vitamin. They tend to have a slower onset, similar to gummies, because they need to be digested and metabolized first. Effects typically manifest after maybe 45 minutes to 2 hours. However, the effects often last longer, providing sustained relief over several hours. They're perfect for those seeking convenience and consistency without the need for immediate effects or worrying about taste. Now, for those looking for much faster-acting options, particularly for immediate relief or very precise titration, smokables and vapes come into play. Products like DH the Vapes, THC pre-rolls, Delta-8 disposable vape pen, 1,000 milligrams, and even Delta-8 cigarettes, 1,000 milligram THC per pack. Quite a range. These offer near instantaneous effects. Why? Because the cannabinoids are absorbed directly into the lungs and quickly enter the bloodstream. Fastest route. This method allows for immediate feedback on the effects, which can be particularly useful for those needing rapid onset for acute issues like sudden pain or anxiety, or just to precisely gauge their desired level of effect in real time. The effects tend to be shorter-lived compared to edibles or tinctures, maybe an hour or two, offering a different kind of control. And finally, we have topicals, things you rub on your skin. These include natural CBD Relief Cream 2500 mg and full spectrum CBD Relief Salve 2500 mg, often in higher concentrations. These are designed to be applied directly to the skin for localized relief, right where it hurts. The cannabinoids interact with receptors in the skin, but generally do not enter the bloodstream in significant amounts. This means they don't produce systemic, whole-body effects like psychoactivity or drowsiness. They're excellent for targeting sore muscles, joint discomfort, or localized inflammation without affecting the rest of your body. This is a great choice for direct external application without any internal consumption worries.
That's a truly comprehensive overview of the diverse forms and delivery methods. Tinctures, capsules, vapes, topicals, so many ways besides gummies. So with all these incredible choices and nuances, it really comes down to our listener considering their personal wellness goals. Their preferred onset time, do they need something fast acting right now, or a sustained effect throughout the day? And their desired method of consumption when they're exploring these options, what feels right for them. It's all about making an informed personal choice that aligns with their lifestyle and needs.
Precisely. Your lifestyle, your specific needs, what you're trying to achieve, those factors should absolutely guide your selection. There's no single best product. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. But rather, there's a whole spectrum of potentially effective solutions waiting to be discovered if you know what you're looking for.
Okay, now let's shift gears slightly and talk about the fundamental why behind CBD's massive and growing popularity. We see it everywhere. Let's talk about the potential health benefits. As someone who is always keeping an eye on the latest developments, what's truly fascinating to me is how science is finally beginning to catching up with the countless anecdotal stories we've heard for years, from friends, family, online. Where are we seeing the most exciting breakthroughs? And maybe, where do we still need to apply a healthy dose of scientific skepticism?
That's a crucial distinction, absolutely, and a really important lens through which to view all this. It's essential to stress that while science is indeed still catching up to the widespread use and the often compelling anecdotal reports, there is exciting early research and promising results emerging, definitely, especially with the increasingly widespread integration of medical cannabis into mainstream healthcare discussions and, in some places, practice. This isn't just wishful thinking anymore. Genuine, rigorous scientific inquiry is taking place, and it's starting to confirm many long-held beliefs about these compounds. When we look at commonly reported benefits and what science says, several key areas are really emerging. For physical relief and body management, studies strongly suggest that CBD interacts with the body's extraordinary endocannabinoid system, the ECS. Think of the ECS as your body's master regulatory system. It's this vast internal network of receptors and naturally produced cannabinoids that helps maintain homeostasis, basically, balance across vital functions like pain sensation, mood, sleep, appetite, inflammation. It's huge. CBD doesn't just flood this system, it seems to subtly modulate it. For example, it might block an enzyme called FAAH, which breaks down anandamide, one of your body's own natural bliss endocannabinoids. By allowing anandamide to stay active longer, CBD could potentially help with chronic physical discomfort, soothe sore muscles, and reduce inflammation. Now, it's worth acknowledging that much of this cutting-edge research often involves THC-CBD combinations, making it complex to isolate CBD's sole impact sometimes. But the indications for its role in modulating physical discomfort are increasingly strong. In terms of reduced anxiety and mood support, our sources cite compelling studies showing, for example, short-term anxiety reduction, especially in social situations. Research has shown CBD's ability to reduce public speaking anxiety, for instance. That makes it a focus for people seeking calm in high-stress scenarios. Researchers are also actively exploring its possible antidepressant effect, as indicated by some well-regarded studies. This suggests CBD might offer a calming and potentially uplifting influence without the intoxicating or sedative side effects often associated with traditional pharmaceuticals or higher THC doses. For better sleep, a vast number of users report that CBD helps significantly in winding down at night and achieving more restful sleep. We hear this constantly. Science is starting to support this, particularly when things like anxiety, chronic physical discomfort, or just an overactive mind are contributing factors to sleeplessness. By addressing those underlying issues, CBD can help create a more conducive physiological and psychological environment for rest, potentially promoting a deeper, more restorative sleep cycle. Beyond these big ones, broader wellness support studies are looking at CBD's potential for various mental health conditions, and even specific debilitating conditions like muscle spasticity in multiple sclerosis patients. This highlights its diverse and continually expanding therapeutic potential across the board. Research is ongoing, and significantly, perhaps the strongest evidence we have for seizure treatment is Epidiolex. This is an FDA-approved prescription drug. It's pure plant-derived CBD, and it has been rigorously clinically proven to reduce the frequency of seizures in rare, severe childhood epilepsy syndromes like Lennox-Gastaut syndrome and Dravet syndrome. This approval wasn't taken lightly. It's backed by multiple, large-scale, placebo-controlled clinical trials. Gold standard evidence. It's a very strong, undeniable piece of evidence for CBD's efficacy in specific medically supervised applications. It's a landmark approval that has truly legitimized CBD's therapeutic potential in the eyes of mainstream medicine. It was a big deal.
Those are some incredibly promising areas, absolutely, especially with the FDA approval of Epidiolex, which really validates CBD's medical potential in a concrete way. But it sounds like it's still really important to temper expectations. It's clearly not a silver bullet, right? What are the crucial caveats and nuances we absolutely should keep in mind? And what scientific skepticism should we maintain as consumers?
Absolutely. Tempering expectations is key. While the findings are exciting and the potential seems vast, it's vital to recognize that CBD is not a miracle cure for every ailment under the sun. It just isn't. It should be viewed, I think, as a powerful support tool within a broader wellness strategy, part of a toolkit, rather than a singular solution for complex health issues. We also must emphasize individual variability. This is huge. Here's a key insight. Everyone's body responds differently, period. Your unique endocannabinoid system, your metabolism, even your genetics will influence how you react to CBD. Some people might experience profound benefits, feel a marked difference almost immediately. Fantastic for them. While others might notice very little change or perhaps need a different dose, different spectrum, or different product altogether. This makes personal experimentation done carefully, guided, and often in consultation with a knowledgeable professional incredibly important. And finally, the landscape is still rapidly evolving. We need to reinforce that ongoing research is critical. Long-term data for many of CBD's potential applications is still limited. We need more studies. More comprehensive longitudinal studies are continually needed to fully understand its full spectrum of potential, its long-term safety profile, and its limitations. It's a journey of continuous scientific discovery, and we're still on that journey.
That's a very balanced and essential perspective. A promising tool for wellness, not a magic wand. I like that. This raises an important, very practical question for our listeners. How do you figure out what works for you? It's one thing to know what's out there, all these options, but quite another to integrate it effectively into your own personal CBD journey. So let's talk practicalities. Dosing and individual considerations. This is where the rubber meets the road, right?
This truly is perhaps the most crucial practical advice we can offer today, and it's where many new users, understandably, make mistakes. The golden rule, an absolute imperative, is to start low and go slow. Say it with me. Start low, go slow. If you're new to CBD gummies, or really any hemp-derived product, we strongly advise beginning with a very low dose, maybe half a gummy, or even less if you can accurately portion it. Read the label carefully. Why? To meticulously assess your individual reaction. How does your body respond? Your body's endocannabinoid system is unique, remember, and what works beautifully for your friend might be too much or too little for you. It's about finding your sweet spot, and that requires patience. It's not a race. A critical piece of information here, especially with gummies and other edibles, is the delayed onset of effects. Unlike vapes or tinctures, which work faster, gummies need to pass through your entire digestive system before the cannabinoids are absorbed into your bloodstream. It takes time. This means it can take anywhere from, say, 30 minutes to maybe 2 hours to feel the full effect, sometimes even longer for some people. This delayed onset is why you should never, ever take more too quickly out of impatience. This is such a common pitfall. Many people feeling nothing after 30 or 45 minutes will pop into the gummy, only to find themselves feeling maybe uncomfortably overwhelmed an hour later when both doses kick in simultaneously. Not fun. Give it ample time, at least 2 full hours, I'd say, to work before even considering taking more. Otherwise, you risk taking more than you need, potentially leading to unwanted side effects such as discomfort. Several key factors influence dosage, making it a truly personalized process. It's not one size fits all. Your body weight is certainly a common consideration. Generally, larger individuals may require slightly higher doses, but this is by no means a hard and fast rule. Metabolism plays a huge role too. Your individual goals also play a significant role. What are you trying to achieve? Are you seeking improved sleep, relief from chronic pain, reduced anxiety throughout the day, or simply general wellness support? Dosing for intense sleep support might differ significantly from microdosing for daily stress management or focus during work. And finally, your experience level matters immensely. Are you a total newbie or a seasoned pro? New users will naturally have different starting points and needs compared to experienced CBD users who have already developed a better understanding of their personal tolerance and optimal dosing range.
That makes a lot of sense. It's truly about personal titration, listening to your body, and understanding your unique physiology. Patience seems key. And with such a variety of products, we discussed gummies, tinctures, vapes, different cannabinoids. I imagine some people might even combine them. or maybe use different types for different times of the day? How does that work in practice?
Yes, exactly. That's where the real sophistication of a personalized regimen can come in. It gets interesting. Many individuals find that combining products or using different formulations throughout the day significantly enhances their overall experience. It helps them achieve specific targeted effects when they need them. For instance, someone might use a CBD isolate gummy during the day for general wellness and focus, maybe no THC needed. Then they might switch to a CBN-rich tincture in the evening for faster-acting sleep support as bedtime approaches. Our sources show this kind of layered approach is becoming more common. People using, say, a focus gummy with CBD and CBG during their workday for mental clarity, and then a dedicated nighttime gummy with CBN, CBD, and maybe melatonin before bed for promoting restful sleep. This layering allows for a highly customized regimen that adapts to your needs hour by hour throughout the day and night. Now, let's do a deeper dive into medication interactions again, because this is absolutely paramount and cannot be overstated. Seriously, we've mentioned it before, but it bears repeating with added emphasis and clarity. CBD can significantly interact with blood thinners like warfarin Coumadin and certain antidepressants like SSRIs, among many other classes of common drugs. The scientific reason behind this is critical. CBD can affect how other medications are metabolized due to CYP450 enzyme interference. Remember that. To put it simply, the CYP450 enzyme system in your liver is like a major processing plant. It's responsible for breaking down and metabolizing over 50% of all prescription drugs you might take. Huge job. If CBD inhibits or interferes with these enzymes, it can dramatically slow down the metabolism of other drugs you're taking. This can lead to those medications building up to higher than intended, potentially toxic levels in your system. Dangerous. Or conversely, in some cases, it might speed up metabolism, rendering other drugs ineffective. Also not good. Therefore, physician consultation is not just advised, it is absolutely necessary if you're considering CBD, especially as part of a broader medical treatment plan, or if you're on any prescription medication, or even some over-the-counter meds or supplements. This isn't a mere formality, it's a vital step for your safety. Please talk to your doctor first. Finally, it's important to be fully aware of potential observed side effects as documented in scientific evidence. While CBD is generally well tolerated by most people, it can, in some individuals, cause things like fatigue, diarrhea, and transient changes in liver enzymes, quote unquote. These are often dose-dependent, meaning they're more likely at higher doses, and can often be managed by simply adjusting your intake, reducing the dose. Knowing these potential side effects allows you to monitor your body's response carefully. You can adjust your usage or consult a healthcare professional if any side effects are persistent or concerning. It's all about approaching CBD use with an informed, cautious, and self-aware mindset, always prioritizing your health above all else.
That's incredibly important information, especially the details about CYP450 enzyme interference. Wow. And the absolute necessity of medical consultation. It truly underscores the need for a cautious, informed approach, not just jumping in. So, if we connect this all back to the bigger picture, understanding the rules and regulations isn't just dry legal jargon, is it? It's really about protecting yourself as a consumer and ensuring you're operating within safe and legal boundaries. Let's delve into those regulatory realities that govern these products and how they ultimately empower you, the listener.
Precisely. The regulatory landscape can certainly seem fragmented, maybe even confusing at times, but understanding it is your ultimate protection. It's the key to safe, legal consumption. The primary federal law governing hemp-derived products in the United States is, again, the 2018 Farm Bill. That's the big one. This act is the bedrock that legally distinguished hemp from marijuana based on that THC percentage. It deems CBD and other hemp-derived cannabinoids federally legal if the product is derived from hemp and contains no more than 0.3% delta-9 THC by dry weight. That specific definition is crucial. Anything above that threshold automatically falls under different, much stricter federal regulations, generally those applying to marijuana. This bill opened the floodgates for the market we see today, for better or worse. However, and this is an absolutely vital point often overlooked, it's essential to remember that state laws vary dramatically, hugely. While hemp-derived CBD might be federally legal under the Farm Bill, some states have taken it upon themselves to impose additional restrictions on the sale, possession, or even the use of certain hemp-derived cannabinoids, especially the newer ones that might have intoxicating effects, like delta-8, delta-10, or even THCA, depending on how it's interpreted. This makes it absolutely essential for you, the consumer, to actively check your local state and even municipal regulations before purchasing or using these products. Do your homework. What's perfectly legal and available in one state might carry significant penalties just across the border in another. And remember, ignorance of these local laws is generally not considered a valid defense if you get caught. Okay, now let's talk about the FDA stance and those disclaimers you see, which often cause confusion. The Food and Drug Administration, FDA, has to date not approved CBD as a dietary supplement or a food additive for general sale across state lines. Epidiolex is a prescription drug. That's different. This is a significant point. Because of this lack of federal dietary supplement approval, reputable brands must include specific disclaimers on their products and websites. You'll commonly see phrases like, "This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease." Or, "These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration." You see them all the time. These disclaimers aren't a sign of weakness or proof that the product is ineffective. Don't think that. Quite the opposite, actually. They are strong indicators of compliance, transparency, and integrity. It shows that the company respects the current regulatory environment and isn't making illegal, unsubstantiated medical claims that could mislead consumers. It shows they're following the rules. And this brings us squarely to marketing scrutiny and consumer protection. Who's watching the watchers? Well, the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, plays a crucial oversight role here. They monitor these kinds of company claims with a keen eye, actively pursuing brands that make unsubstantiated or misleading health claims. They issue warnings and fines. Trustworthy brands will proactively avoid unrealistic language or bold promises of curing illnesses. They know better. If a product sounds too good to be true, promising miraculous cures for every ailment under the sun, it almost certainly is. Trust your gut. The FTC cracks down hard on deceptive advertising to protect consumers from fraudulent claims and ensure a fairer, more honest market. So always be skeptical of grand, unsubstantiated health claims. Look for evidence, not hype. Ultimately, the bottom line for you, the consumer, is that transparency is protection. It's your best defense. Your safety, the potential effectiveness of the product you choose, and your peace of mind hinge directly on selecting brands that are completely transparent. Transparent about every aspect of their operation. This means clarity about their sourcing, exactly where their hemp comes from, how it's grown, clarity about their detailed manufacturing processes, are they clean and safe, and critically, that they consistently provide accessible, up-to-date third-party lab results, those COAs, for every single batch. No excuses. This level of unwavering openness and accountability is the ultimate safeguard for you as a consumer in what remains, frankly, a largely self-regulated market. It's about empowering yourself through informed choices, turning you into a confident navigator of this dynamic, sometimes confusing space.
So let's circle back to our opening question. Do CBD gummies work? What we've truly unpacked today is that the answer isn't a simple yes or no, is it? Instead, it's a much more nuanced and, I think, empowering answer. It depends. Depends on what you choose, how you choose it, the quality, the dose, and crucially, your own unique body chemistry. It's a complex landscape, yes, but an incredibly exciting one if you know how to navigate it with the right tools and knowledge.
Precisely. We've highlighted the paramount importance of hemp quality where it starts, and understanding the specific potency levels, knowing exactly what you're getting. We've underscored the absolute necessity of clean ingredients, what else is in that gummy, and perhaps most critically, the undeniable value of transparent third-party lab testing, COAs, to verify both purity and potency. That gives you ultimate assurance. And understanding the diverse landscape of cannabinoids, from the potential holistic benefits of full-spectrum CBD to the unique characteristics of various delta forms and minor cannabinoids like CBN and CBG, that's also a key transformative takeaway. It's not just about CBD anymore. Choosing wisely with all these factors in mind is a critical, empowering step for truly realizing any personal benefit from these remarkable hemp-derived products.
Absolutely. And as you embark on, or maybe continue, your own path through this wellness frontier, we encourage you to consider not just if CBD works, but how thoughtfully chosen hemp-derived products might most effectively and safely integrate into your holistic wellness routine. Remember, your individual body chemistry is truly unique. What works for one person might not work for another. And consulting with trusted medical professionals, especially if you have underlying health conditions or take medications, is always the smartest, most responsible approach. If you're now feeling more confident, maybe a bit more equipped, and ready to explore high-quality hemp-derived products, products that meet the transparency and rigorous quality standards we've discussed today, we highly recommend checking out BioWellnessX.com. They truly embody the principles of openness, testing, and quality that we've championed in this deep dive. It's a great place to start looking. Thanks for listening to Voices of BioWellnessX with Daniel and Sophie.